We're live. Hi, Allie.
Hey, how is it going?
Everything is going great.
It's good.
So we're gonna get started. Lisa will probably join us as soon as she can get in, but
Mhm.
we're gonna start talking about this voting season and how we turn
Yeah,
this into a moment.
yeah.
Um, I want you to introduce yourself. I'm going to put on here your let people know who you are and what you do.
My name is Alexandria. I'm with Michigan Liberation and also Accountability for Dearborn. I fight this fight because what's happening to Black people is not okay. And I also fight this fight because a woman's body is not a group discussion. And I'm an activist.
Yay. Yes, you are. So yeah, so um you were saying something about the earlier before we got started about the this voting election jitters.
How anxieties that come. Yeah, it's getting colder, so there's the seasonal changes creating anxiety, election anxiety, COVID anxiety, and it just all feels like one big anxiety pile.
Right.
It's a lot to handle. The election and things changing it isn't making things easier. Uh,
Right.
yeah, so we gotta do our best to keep our mental health in check during this time, especially.
Right. Especially as the sun is not up long.
Yeah, long days.
Shorter day, so that makes us, especially dark complected people like us, Black
Mhm.
people, when we have these shorter days, we become vitamin D deficient.
Mhm.
And so that's plays into the whole psyche of the COVID and our immune system. And then with the stress
Also, yeah, yeah, and
of
I,
the
I was gonna say, like also working from home as well. There's a lot of people that are doing that, and
right,
being with yourself at home, quiet environment, no sun, all those things play into our psyche.
right. So we gotta like take a woosah, burn some sage, drink some green tea, and relax a little bit because November,
Self-care.
the third, is upon us.
Yes.
So let's talk about, voting and why is it important for us to vote? I know there's a long history with the vote, especially for Black people. But why do
Mhm.
you feel this is very important, especially in this season, and this election?
I've always said, and especially now, voting is important because, to be honest, we need every tool possible. Uh,
Right,
every tool possible, to change the system. And by not voting, you're letting them take that away from you. There's already voter suppression that's happening in a lot of communities of color, majorly. So that's a form of taking away your vote. The constant battle now of politicians not agreeing with the mail-in ballots, which is considering COVID, like it's a safety thing, wanting to help people, wanting to make things convenient, caring about people. There's people trying to take that away. So
right,
they're already trying to take things away by just not voting, saying that I'm even speaking that into existence. You're giving that to them, and we have too many things happening in this country to do that.
right. Hi, Lisa.
Woo, hello.
Hello.
So sorry. I'm struggling over here. And then I have to enlarge everything. I can't see nothing. I had to to my phone.
We see you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Please pray for me. Lord, I'm so sorry.
You made it. Yay. I knew you were supposed to get in. I just said, calm down, Lisa.
Yeah. But but I definitely agree with what you're saying. Voting is so important.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know about you guys, but here lately, I've seen more people come out and say it's their first time ever. And so which made me think like I really want people to get the message that it's okay. It's okay for it to be your first time. And
Right.
everyone's got to have a first time. And what the only thing that matters is do it. Just vote. And for myself, I'm going to go on Tuesday, right down the street here at the church. A friend of mine is going to go, and I'm going to be honest. I kind of like, oh man, I had to do the less of evils, I guess is how they say it. But I have finally figured out voting is more for yourself.
Mm.
Yes, yeah, and it just really dawned on me the days. It's really for yourself. If you think about it, yeah, we want to get the right candidates, and not only that, there's all kinds of voting going on with the prosecutors and the judges, and so that's so important. We don't want to forget about them, and we don't hear too much about them. So
Right.
I was thinking back, Miss Love, to your one of your podcast where you had a gentleman on there that said go to the courtroom and listen to your prosecutors.
Right.
And I thought that would be a good way to really get an idea of who to vote for, in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like court watching. That's
Yeah.
a good idea, good way to get, who to vote for in your area. Because there's, I've had friends tell me there's not a lot of information out there on judges like that you're voting for. Like just trying to research them, there's not a ton out there, or it's not easy to research. So definitely court watching, that's definitely a good resource.
Right, because unless you've been to court for a case, you really don't know your judges. And I know I went to a workshop at the UAD Law School, and they were talking about one of the facts that came up is like most people, the people who vote for judges are law enforcement and other judges. And
hear me, I can't hear you any longer. Shoot.
I can hear you. So with that being said, when you have just a certain amount of people who vote for the judges, you're right, we should court watch, go get as much information as we can on the judges. I think Nicholas said judge the judges.
Yeah.
I'm having a heck of a time. I'm so sorry. I cannot hear you.
Wow. Okay. She'll be back.
Yeah.
She'll be back.
Judges. That is key. Yeah. That, this political climate has changed so much. It's not the same as it was 4 years ago. And 4 years isn't a long time. The things candidates are running on are like, it's like the past coming back. Like running on Law and Order, should not be a thing. And the fact that it is really says how much of a problem we have in this country that they're doing that. In Oakland County, that's happening. There's Karen McDonald and Lynn Goetz, if I'm saying her name correctly, but Lynn Goetz is running on Law and Order. Signs everywhere in Southfield, Law and Order. She doesn't want to end the cash bail system. Big signs. And that's problematic. Yes. So, it's a dangerous time. And I know we don't want to vote for the lesser two evils and all of that, but really right now it's voting to end Trumpism, like Trumpism. It's a different time. That's what we're voting to end. The work doesn't end after we end Trumpism. It increases. But
we're gonna talk about that after we vote. Lisa, you're back.
God, Yeah, I'm having all kinds of issues over here. But you're absolutely right. I agree with you. We got to get Trump out of there. And it's just my opinion. I don't want to upset anyone, but and then
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
just figure out what do we do? Where do we go from there? And
Right.
I think it's so sad that we have to spend so much time and energy with coming up with these plans of how to get people out, and then where do we go from there to we're losing valuable time, especially during this pandemic, and
Right,
now we're going through the second wave. I mean, that's what we should be concentrating on.
right.
Unfortunately, I think for all of us, we're not really given a chance, which is it's so unfortunate. It's frustrating. It is very, very frustrating for sure. But I heard in the Detroit area, I seen on CNN. I have to tell you, Michelle Obama is my idol. I love, love, love her. And they said that Barack was going to be in your area. You
Yeah,
guys going to have a chance to see or listen to him?
I'll probably watch him on on the news or something online. But yeah, he is supposed to be in the Flint area this
Yeah.
evening. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish he could just run, just solve the problems. Just good Lord. Yeah.
Lisa, while you're talking, introduce yourself. You didn't get an opportunity, and
Okay.
tell everybody what you do.
I'm Lisa Riley. I'm an activist. I have Breaking Silence, prison reform. I've had the pleasure to join the Reinvention Center with James Jones and Mr. Maurice Clifton. And we are currently fighting very, very hard for Quentin Sanders for a commutation. We are so excited and so close that we're hoping this time next year he will be home. And I can't wait to do that live because he got sentenced to 51 years to life at 17 years old, and he's done 21 years. And so I'm going to be over the top when he walks out, and because it's going to happen. Like we're close. We're so close. And just speaking with the attorney and the state rep and the senators, it's just all great positive stuff. So, and but I have to say this, that it takes so many of us, and
Yes,
the Sanders family is remarkable. They are fighters, and they have helped us every step of the way, getting the word out, raising money, I mean, they've just been amazing. And, and of course, this could have never, ever gotten as far as it has without Mr. James Jones and Mr. Maurice Clifton, because they are the legal masterminds. So I thank God for them totally. They just let me go along for the ride, I tell you, because I there's no way this could have been done without them for sure.
oh,
Yeah.
Lisa, I see you with your promos. You are awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta get somebody. I gotta get attention to sell these bracelets. And you know what is so crazy?
Amazing.
When I get online and I look ridiculous and I look crazy, but I sell the most bracelets those
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. People drawn to that, I know. And that's awesome that the family is involved, because it's a lot of work being advocating. I know with myself, with advocating for Gerard, it's a lot of work. And you get tired. And if you don't have anyone to bounce off of and support you in it, you have to take a break because you would be so overwhelmed.
Yeah. We have emotions. We're people. We need a team we can lean on.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think
Go ahead, Lisa.
it's the fundraisers. You got to do them fundraisers. It takes, t-shirts, bracelets, it takes money, and then we're blessed to find an attorney that isn't really crazy expensive, but it takes money. Everything takes money to do it, and the Sanders family is phenomenal. I'm going to very soon. Within the next couple days, we're going to raffle off bundles of hair. The sisters
Wow.
of Quentin, the sisters of Quentin Sanders, they work in a hair shop in Tennessee, and they have three bundles of hair. And the bundle you would win is worth $200, and we're selling raffle tickets for $10 a piece. And when they're gonna do it live on Facebook, and then they will ship you the bundle of hair.
Wow, that's cool.
That's creative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal, and they're beautiful, strong women. I can't wait for you to see the flyer. They're just wonderful.
I can't wait.
Oh,
I know
cool.
I gotta start focusing on fundraisers myself. I did one for the rally, but I really haven't really gotten to the fundraising part, but I know I have to, because it is very expensive.
Yes.
Advocating for justice and fighting for justice is very expensive.
And you don't think about it till you get to a direct action that you got to do. Like that's to me. All the ones Slippery Summer and whenever else, I didn't think about it till we had the idea. I'm like, man, I need to jump on that.
Right. And that's what happened with me with the first rally. I didn't think about, I just wanted to do the rally. But, in doing a rally, there is a cost. So, and I had a awesome support of my friends, my Facebook people, and we made the rallies happen. So let's get back to voting. We were talking about, Lisa, before you got on, about the anxiety that, we got with the COVID and family members dying. A lot of people are not working. And then you have this election to top it off. We're just seeing so many people. This is, especially during this season, mental health. It is a big thing already with the holidays. And then you add on the pressure of the COVID, Trump, and everything to do with this election. We're talking about why vote, right? Where we could just stay home, put our heads under a pillow, and hope it goes away. Why should we, be out here, Lisa?
Right. And I get it, because, when it was going on and on, when Trump said that statement to the Proud Boys, stand by and stand down, and then they were talking about how there was going to be poll watchers. It is extremely intimidating, and that goes back to the intimidation for the first time voter. You're already on edge because you want to do the right thing, and this election is so important, and now you have to worry about somebody intimidating you when you go there, and the whole process. It's a very high stress going on. And then, like you said, COVID, we got to have the mask on. For myself, I can't breathe, I can't see, so I need my glasses, but the glasses is fogged up.
Right, the glasses is fogged.
Worst.
Fogged up every time I go into a store or get out the car going somewhere. The glasses is fogged up. Now I gotta. You're right. That's stressful too, because you gotta decide: do I want to move the mask so I can wear my glasses? Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just all really stressful. And I think what happens for a lot of us that eases it is things like this platform that you're doing, Miss Love, and we can get out here and talk about it. And for people that are listening, maybe they could reach out to you guys or myself and say, hey, I'm real stressed out. I've been standing in this line for an hour. Is this the right thing? Because again, my mind is really on those first time voters. They might be thinking, is this really how it's supposed to go? Now, I do plan, I'm going to be able to do it before or after I vote, but I do plan to go on a live just to, kind of give the gist of what it was like, how long I waited, how smoothly it went.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think the best thing to do is talk about it. I think we need to really reach out to each other and just and say, here's my anxiety, here's my stress.
Right, because you'll be surprised. Everyone is feeling it. I
Yeah.
voted early, so I can avoid all of that. But even when I'm listening to them talking about people bringing guns, or to the polls, like why?
Yeah. It's
And
so sad.
if you're a first time voter, that could be a little bit intimidating. Just hearing that people gonna be, gonna bring guns. You don't need anything.
Never before. I've never seen that ever. Like,
Right.
it's a different time, man.
Right. All you need is a voting card and an ID. Or you don't even need an ID in some places. You just need your voting card. So, I mean, all of this to intimidate people, so they'll stay home or second guess their vote. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy though? The world we live in is a awful lot of intimidation.
Yeah.
And anymore, it's like when people want things to go their way, that's what they do. They try to intimidate you. And
Right.
that is the sad part. And I just hope that people listening to this will realize that they have what it takes and to empower themselves, because once you get a voice, that's when things will make a difference, and not just one voice, not just my voice or your voice, but if all of us come together as one voice, the changes are going to they're going to happen. They really will. I believe that. I truly do.
Me too.
But yeah, but we can't let anyone take our power from us.
Yeah.
Can't go backwards. We certainly cannot. We have to demand change, and we have to demand a better quality of the police and the judges, and which I know we're going to vote on some of those too. So, I hope people could complete the whole ballot, not just primary. Yeah.
All right. Because all politics is local. And when we're saying that, even though it's a presidential election, it's still local, because we have like you said, the judges is on there, and in some cases the prosecuting attorney is on there. So I mean, even though you might not be too thrilled about your president picks, there's so much more that you need to go there for. So
and think about it this way. If you have small children, I have small grandchildren, you're paving the way for them, because you never know when the change needs to happen for them.
right.
I pray that the system is totally different by the time my grandchildren are able to drive or get out in the community more, because it really scares me, the different situations that things are going on now today,
Right.
So yeah, we definitely have to pave the way. It's super important to vote. And I don't think I don't think there's a right and I don't think there's a wrong, because, I think you do what you think is best, and you vote for who you think is best,
Right.
and you just go with that.
Right.
I
Allie?
think, I was going to say, I think though, when people are voting locally, at this point, we need to reassess the process we go through when looking into who we're going to vote for. That process, I feel like for a lot of people, does not include looking at their relationship with law enforcement. We know that law enforcement has done a lot of damage to this country.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that, we need to look at our political officials as well, and the ties that they may have, their feelings they may have about them, because that could set the narrative for their whole term.
Right.
And historically, presidents have done that, had deep involvement with the FBI. There's, Dearborn, for example, there's people who want to remain in a safe place with the police, and don't want to break that tie. So we have to make sure we're looking into that when voting. Our process has to be updated because it's clearly that's not working.
Right. And when you speak of for our children, it makes me think about qualified immunity.
Yes.
And that's local, that can trickle down locally if a president candidate is talking about eliminating a qualified immunity, which I have been hearing that Joe Biden is, he's on board with eliminating it. And with children, just as recently, just recently, the young man, Walter Wallace, who was gunned down, that was having a mental episode. Maybe if we get more, if we eliminate qualified immunity, people will take their jobs a little bit. They won't be so anxious to shoot the gun. They won't be so anxious to choke the people out. They won't be so anxious because, this can result in you losing your job or going to prison, Right.
Right. So, I'm Ohio, so I'm not real sure, what your police do, but here in Ohio, they have them taser guns, but they never use them, and I'm really confused about, there's so many options before you shoot someone. Right. But it doesn't seem as though the police here take those options, and when they choose to go ahead and shoot a person or or children, there's no type of punishment. None of these policemen, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of not one policeman that have ever been convicted for killing anyone, just shooting them. Why? I just, there's no responsibility at all.
So there was one in and was that in Minneapolis, or there was one, a Black officer who shot and killed a white lady. He went to prison, but you're right, Lisa. There's not many.
And seeing that is horrendous. That is horrendous to me. And I didn't even know about that one. But, come on. I mean, if that is not the stating the obvious,
Right.
That's what I mean. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And then, I'm in a small town in Massillon, Ohio, Stark County, very small. And now the children are killing each other here. There was an 11-year-old child got into an argument with a 6-year-old, and he went in the house, got a gun, and he shot and killed the 6-year-old. And then I say, but these children are seeing the law enforcement doing this and getting away with it. You know, it just, like you said, it trickles down. And I believe that. And I believe something has to change. I believe people have to be held accountable. You know, the police have to be held accountable. These prosecutors that put people in prison that are innocent for these wrongful convictions, they should be held accountable. I truly believe that. You know, how do we get there? That's another big one. But
So,
yeah.
but we need leaders that are for people, not for profits. That's for justice and for fairness. That's what we need, and we have to start somewhere. We can't just be one-sided. We're talking about justice for everyone, fairness for everyone. So you can't have it, one person gets, a tap on the wrist, and then the other one gets 20 years. We need, across legislation across the board that equals justice for everyone, and that's why we need reform. And so all these institutions that's been running crazy for so many years has resulted in so many Black people and poor people and brown people in prisons and in custody and all over the United States because of how the laws are shaped. So when we say we need to vote just because we need change, and we need to find people that is passionate about that change and not get in and get corrupt and then, go with the rest of these guys.
Right. And I know that, that drug law, I'm sorry, I just went blank, years ago, where it was the drug war on drugs, affected a lot of people. A lot of people went to jail for nothing. There's a lot of people in jail on what they call a ghost charge, or they're charged for drugs that they didn't even have. They just said you're capable of trafficking drugs, and it's still going on. And I guess we got to look at that, and see. I know Trump did. He did let 5 people, I believe, go. He pardoned 5 people, which he didn't do it until days before the time to vote. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like gotta. No matter who we get in there, we have to hold them to what.
Yes.
We have to. We have to. We just got to hold them to it. And I truly believe in all these thousands of people rallying and coming together. I truly do. Now, I do not believe in rioting or burning buildings or anything. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in having peaceful rallies and coming together, and taking a day where we can all unite and not spend no money, because it's all about money.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So I think we could do it if there was enough of us that did it at the same time, but people, that's a tough one.
It's I was gonna say, I think now it's like, because a lot of people doing a lot of things happening, a lot of things moving. Some good, some bad. The bad always takes precedent because we focus on the bad a lot. Like, as people, we focus on what was wrong, what's bad about something. It's natural. But with all this change happening, like, it's momentum. Like, it's a lot of things just changing. So we have to take advantage of that. Like, the people, if we can take advantage of that, we can have everything. But we have to take advantage of it. It's like changes, it's a slow period, I feel, with with change. It's really slow. And then there's change that's decades worth of change happens in weeks once the momentum is there. So we have that momentum. We have to keep it. And that's by everybody coming together and keeping it going post-election.
Right. After you vote, then what? Then what's next? And you're right, holding accountability. Lisa, as you was talking, I was thinking about you were saying about holding our elected officials accountable. And I think also even with Joe Biden, if he gets in, we have to hold him accountable because he created a crime bill that caused so many of our loved ones, families, friends to be in prison 30, 40, 50 years for things that was so, like you were saying, like ghosts. What was that you said?
The ghost drug.
Right. Things like that. That was from that crime bill. And although it was bad at that time, people were saying it was really bad. They had crack and crack was bad. I lived through the crack era and it's bad right now, So I don't know if it was worse then than it is now, but it's pretty rough right now. And that thing that Bill did and the things that it caused is the reason why we're protesting right now. It's the reason why we're, advocating for wrongful convictions right now. So accountability.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. And we do have to hold Bill. If he gets president, we have to hold him accountable. I believe he said he was going to do away with sentencings on marijuana. I mean, because it's legal in a lot of states. It's legal here in Ohio, but yet people are still losing their life, serving time in prison over a marijuana charge. So I believe so we have to hold him accountable on that. I mean, we definitely do. And how we do that, we have to come together and reach out to our elected senators and write letters and just keep doing what we're doing. And I think it, like you said, it's going to take time, but I don't know if there's a better way. I think we'll find it.
Right.
Optimism is what got us here.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's next? What do you think that we should be doing, Allie?
What is after voting? Some people probably already know this, but of course, keep protesting, keep doing direct actions. You have to keep doing those. And this is where you really need to start looking locally. Post-election, if you didn't pay attention when figuring out who to vote for, you need to start doing it locally after the election. Local officials get away with a lot. It's not so mainstream as other things like presidential and the senators in the House of your state. Like it's not so out there. And we need to start going to those council meetings. We need to start making statements, requesting meetings with them. We need to start doing FOIAs and finding out what information departments are holding. We need to hold them to everything that they said they were going to do and consistently follow up.
Right.
And make it a weekly thing, a weekly check-in, whatever. Like it has to be consistent pressure in multiple ways. Protests through policy, city council, and also, in your community, spreading the word and helping people figure out how to go about doing that.
Right. So when you say protest, because a lot of people like, oh, protest, I don't want to, because I
Oh,
know
there's
everybody is not going to protest, and it's not everybody's thing, and that's cool. But when you're saying protest, um, you know, give us clarity on what what you're saying, Alex.
that can mean many things. People think of the first thing people think of is outside of the police department, with signs and things like that. That is one form of direct action, but there are other forms of direct action. The numbers, for example, being at a council meeting, and all of them are through Zoom, right? Because it's COVID, that's happening. Changing your Zoom name to say a specific thing, spread a specific message, you're having 30 different people do that. Direct action, that's a form. Also saying different things when it is your time to talk, or I know certain cities just are realizing how to use Zoom and you can unmute yourself. That I've experienced that. Saying Black Lives Matter, saying, hold these police officers accountable, hold yourself accountable. You said you were going to do this. There's those type of forms of direct action. Digital, protest isn't just necessarily one thing. It could be sit-ins. It
Right.
could be giving out information, giving the police department information, going to the mayor's office and giving him information and coming in groups. There's power in numbers.
Right.
So, protest isn't necessarily one thing, and you can use your skills, whatever your passions are. They fit in there. You just have to think about it.
Pamela White said we must hold feet to the fire consistently. Yes, we should. I was going to say another direct action is even within your family, holding weekly or monthly meetings, have check-ins. That's a way to do a direct action, tapping in to see how everybody feels. What's going on in your neck of the woods, in your city. A lot of us our family members live all in the same city, in the same area. I think Detroit has different districts and stuff. It's, what's going on in that district. So we can be tapping into a direct action, even within our family circles and our friends circle. Just be more aware and not just wait till there's an election time to try to figure out what's going on. I think a lot of us do that. We wait until, September, and the election is in November, to try to figure out what's going on, where we can be more proactive by just tapping in with each other.
Right. Yeah, it's part of that too. I know we have lives and things happen and we're working and busy, and it slips our mind. If it's not on TV like it was, it slipped my mind. Like, I know that is a real thing for some people, but you have to make social justice fit into your life. It's a need. Like, it's not a thing you can push away. It's needed because it keeps coming back and it keeps affecting you over and over. It's going to keep coming back. So make it convenient. Email protests, set reminders in your phone. Breonna Taylor, when she passed, that was a constant thing. Email protests, everybody was doing it. In your email signature, you can put justice for so-and-so, and it goes to every person. There's ways you have to fit it in. It's needed. So I get it to an extent, but we have to use our minds. We have it. We just, sometimes just need a little somebody to say something.
Right. I know we did an email protest during the when COVID was really bad and within the prison system, Michigan Department of Corrections, and we were sending emails. We did an email protest, and then we also did a drive protest. We didn't get out of our cars, but we drove around the Capitol like we were in a funeral, and that's a form of a protest, because really, to be honest, these people are dying. Everyone didn't get as a matter of fact, Michigan doesn't have the death penalty, but people were dying. So that was a sign of protest as we were driving around in a funeral to represent the inmates that were dying.
Right. And you're both so correct. Allie, you are so on point. I agree with everything you're both saying. And you know, I do want to tell you that in talking with attorneys in Tennessee, Breonna Taylor, I had a opportunity to speak with two of her attorneys. They both told me the media attention was so intense that the judge could not ignore it. It was part of the reason why she got released. So you
Mm-hmm.
you know, we are in such a beautiful time with social media right now. And if we all use it to our fullest and get the word out there and just don't stop. And, you know, and I truly believe that email, like you said, Allie, you know, having 50, 100 people email at the same time, you know, I really believe that's effective. So you are so right. And yeah, I truly and coming on these platforms, you know, I think the more you come on and then you make that go, you know, share it more and more and more and makes it viral. It's so important right now is definitely the time.
For sure. For sure.
You can connect with so many people on social media by using your platform. You can raise awareness, educate people on, you know, certain topics and issues. And that's what we're doing with the Justice Gerard movement. We're, you know, educating um, as many people we can about, you know, injustice, wrongful
Yeah.
convictions, you know, so we can, you know, because sometimes we're asleep or on cruise control until, you know, something really rattles us, you know, to get us moving. So we had to continuously educate.
Yeah. And going into education, that is definitely a part of post-election, like post-election goals. You have to educate yourself more. You have to seek to get more information. There's a lot locally that we aren't being told, and a lot you
Mm-hmm.
have to FOIA to get. And having to FOIA it is a problem. It should not be you have to FOIA and wait months to hear about where you live. That is that just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Um, and you know, FOIAing like the city budget, you know, that'll tell you what you need to do. But we have to seek that information because a lot is just being kept from us. That's the reality. So
Right.
holding them accountable means finding these things out and making sure they deal with it.
So, Lisa, what's next after the vote?
Ooh, well, we have to for myself is holding people accountable, holding them accountable and keep pushing forward, you know. I'm gonna definitely keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm gonna, you know, keep using this social media to my advantage to get as many people home from prison that are wrongfully incarcerated,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
as the crazy numbers that are definitely are basically death penalties, and they shouldn't have death penalties. You know, you should never ever juvenile death penalty. You know, I don't agree with that at all. You know, and it is time to change that. You know, it's time to stop these people from deciding when people's lives don't matter, and that's ridiculous, you know. Yeah, yeah, so I'm all for pushing forward and becoming a bigger voice. I myself just joined Toastmasters on Wednesday, so I'm going to learn to speak better. Yes, I just want to learn more and more. And again, my mentors, James Jones and Maurice Clifton, said Toastmasters, Lisa. I said, I'm on it. So yes, uh, I tell you, I'm so blessed that God put good people in yourself and Miss Allie are beautiful, strong women that will guide me and everyone in the right direction. And I think once you find that circle of people that are so strong and are truly good hearted and are doing the good work,
Right.
that makes the difference.
Yes,
Absolutely.
well
Yes.
put.
I know. I was thinking about, I was on that live with you guys when they were talking about Toastmasters. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm excited. But I'm going through this
Good
thing
thing.
now. I get a little you know, I turned, and here I am telling my age online, but it's okay. I turned 50 in March. So things are changing. and then I want to be stronger in my words, and because it's so important that the message of saving lives is so important.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I'm excited. I'm definitely excited about it.
Right. And like
Yeah,
you said, saving a life is worth the investment when you're helping people. Whatever you have to do to invest in that is worth it.
Yes, and I tell you, get a good mentor. And I would never have thought when I first started doing this, advocating and talking online here, I would have never thought that I would have two men that are mentors. But I tell you what, they are just, full of knowledge. That's what done it for me. They're like straight shooters. This is what you do. This is how it's going to get better. So it's worked out real well.
So, Allie, in closing, it seemed like the hour has flew by.
it has.
Uh, what do you want to leave our viewers with?
In regards to voting,
Yes.
well, of course, get out and vote. Um, apply pressure to everybody you know. Make sure they vote. I don't care if they're upset at you or anything. Voting is important. Voting matters. Also, post-election, make sure you are applying pressure to officials locally. Make sure you are following up with them weekly, monthly, on a basis. You have to keep following up with them. And then also be sure to continue to put pressure on them about how Black Lives Matter. And that message has to stay at the forefront, because once Black people are liberated, that liberates everybody.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Lisa?
Well, again, Miss Allie is correct that you're absolutely correct. Um, and let me say this again, I'm in Ohio, Stark County area. If anyone needs a voting buddy or not sure, nervous, whatever, inbox me. I'll come and get you. We'll talk, we'll hang out, and whatever it may take, um, or if maybe you're not in my area and you're nervous and you want to talk about it and you're a first time voter, talk about it, yeah. So I'm sure you guys would be open to talking to people as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to get out and vote, and then we need to hold people accountable, whatever that may take, whether it's physically going to City Hall or whether it's sending 100 emails. We need to come together and we need to do that. We have to support one another. We just have to. We all love someone that's incarcerated, and we will all want someone free. So we all have the same objective. It's just we got to come together as one and get that done. No matter what it takes. And I'm so excited for your son to come home, Miss Love, and I look forward to meeting him and seeing him on these lives to tell other people coming home, what's the best route to go,
Yeah.
I talked to him yesterday, and I told him so many people want to meet you. He's there. He doesn't believe it. He's like, really? Yes. Like you said, this is our moment to turn this election cycle, everything that's going on in the world right now, into a movement for social justice, a movement for change. And we have to understand that change is so uncomfortable, and it's not easy, and but it's worth it. And sometimes we just have to get out of our comfort zone. I mean, I was comfortable until all of this happened, with Gerard. I was comfortable just, going about my life in my little bubble. But this injustice with Gerard pushed me to the forefront of being a spokesperson, something that I never thought that I would be doing. So, but it takes all of us, working together, like you said, Lisa. It also takes taking care of ourselves, loving ourselves, loving our family members, and getting involved more on a family level as well, with talking about these uncomfortable topics. I think we talk amongst each other on social media, but sometimes we have to go, how we used to do way back in the day, and have chats with each other, our family members, see where they are.
Strategy and consistency.
Right. Because, that's your base, that's your root to everything. But in order to get these changes done, it takes organization. We have to organize. We have to figure out what is the best strategy, and then start moving forward. And like you said, Allie, maybe we need to start court watching, or maybe we need to start, doing a freedom of information on different elected officials, or on city hall, or council members. Like, we have to get involved. We just can't take people's words for, what they are. We have to know for ourselves. And I think this whole thing with Donald Trump and this whole last 4 years have opened our eyes to see that we can't just go by what someone tells us or what we see. We have to dig deeper. So I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. And
thank you.
I'm sorry I was late again, but thank you, young ladies. It's such an honor. I'm amongst you both.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. It was great. Thank you.
No problem, Lisa. I know you were going to figure it out. I knew you were going to.
After Toastmasters, I'll take a computer class.
Right. Election day, we should come on and, do a check-in, maybe that Wednesday. I was saying maybe I would take Wednesday off.
Oh, okay.
To, get some rest.
Yeah, some self-care. Yeah. We got to do that. We work hard. We got to make sure.
Because after that prosecutors election, August, was that August, Allie?
Yeah.
I had to take a few days. I had to take a few days because I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't even talk, really. So I'm like, okay, after Tuesday, I'm just going to take a break, get some self-care, and then I'll come back in and check in and see how everybody feels. But I want to thank everyone who joined us, and I want to thank the ones who are going to watch us later, and everyone on YouTube that was watching. Thank you, guys. We're going to try to be here every Friday at 6 p.m. And and giving out information and talk about be proactive for justice.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Hi. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.